Yo, what is good, my anime people? What is good, yo? So, Golden Kamui, man, I have been championing this show since I pretty much first initially saw it. Um, I never thought it would go to the extent, like, as well as it is, to be completely honest. I thought it was going to be something that um, might not it just might not be something everyone's into. But after seeing like so much of it now, there's no way that certain people like whatever your like criticism for it, it should seemingly start to sway one way or another just because and this is just my opinion. I mean, but from what we get from all these different like angles and shows that we are lucky enough to even watch, sometimes they don't really dive into even showing us that they had the intentions to, hurt a main character or for that sakes even have him be damaged. And sure, that is like a pretty played out like trove that happens within just like anime as a whole sometimes. Just like the fact that whenever you want to buy something, right? You see them like figure out a way to buy it, or they have to go through like a whole bunch of crap just to get it. And these types of shows nowadays, it usually they just end up getting it like instantaneous. I forgot to get my horse. Crap. Um. Oh yeah, I got speed boost. But with that being said, the instantaneous stuff like has been taking out of like these shows. They really gotta work and grind for it. So I do like appreciate that aspect that they bring to the show. Um, but I can say that with everyone that we've been introduced to on this show, I called it. Like it felt like any of them can go at like pretty much any given moment. And with them like teasing to take out Sagimoto, the Immortal, I think that's just like a good indication for like everybody to understand like, hey, these people can be either taken out um, in the heat of battle. They could be taken out by, something that wasn't even about the last battle, because it just had so much on the stakes. But at the same time, they kind of wanted everybody to at least be kind of separated in a way, so to speak, because the reason why it kind of hurt to watch like these characters portray each other was just because you knew that there was a chance they all could have, maybe worked something out, like split the money and stuff. Like that's kind of what I was hoping could happen with these people, but there's too much going on behind the scenes behind each and every story behind there. So I think that's kind of where the trust starts to, be lost between each other, and it make for a good reason. Like no one wants to share at this time and period, but at the same time, these people have been labeled as like criminals and stuff like that, so they've lost like everything, even their like respect by other people because of just like the label that's been put on them. So if you have all of that writing on you and people can pretty much just use that on you in the everyday life, you would think these people are going to want to continuously take, like all the money that they can get from, this gold and betray each other if they really have to, So that's just my stand on it. I'm not sure if that's where it's going, but with this week's finale, man, it really seems like it's possible, and that's what I like about this show. Not necessarily that they have to show us that they're just gonna like outright kill all the characters or something like that, but they're not afraid to at least tell us like, hey, at any time these people can be taken out. Like in a flash, they will be taken out. And because of that, it's so powerful to me when we see just everybody going at each other. Not to mention, let me see if I can go to controls real quick and find my horse. Not to mention though that um, most people that are in this show are like just ridiculously talented at fighting and stuff like that. So if it is one thing that they can fight their way out of like these situations, like for instance the old man uh, grabbing blood, um, before he pretty much is about to get taken out, like he easily could have died, and all of a sudden this man is, in a situation where he's the one, taking the attacking position, like taking the attacking role, just because of his knowledge of the battlefield, just because of how quick and clever he can be at times. And that's what really like gives this show an extra even funnier, not funnier, but extra like grimy and just like great feel to it, because they don't hide away from those types of tactics, and even though they are underhanded, they sure do seem like the right thing to do at those moments. Like you're not going to get away from a man who's been practically training all of his life for the moment to like catch you in the situation that he caught him in, and by doing so, he then got to get the fight he wanted, even though it didn't necessarily end the way he saw it playing out. So it's a very interesting concept that this anime like can play on and can show us that they're not afraid to go there, and when they did go there, just how like enjoyable was it? Did like was it predictable? All this and that. Um, the one thing that kind of like kind of butchers it is just the fact that the mortal is the immortal. Like he's not supposed to die. So seeing him take this bullet, it just goes to show you like this is how this character is like meant to be, man. He's just broken beyond repair. So broken in fact that he like lost some of his brain, I think, in this week's episode, and he's still like perfectly fine, So that's all stuff you can keep in mind. I don't know, man. I love Sakimoto, and just they've been building up that he's immortal like the whole time that we've seen the show, So to have him not do something that is seemingly an immortal type of thing would have been just plain out wrong. So it was nice to see that aspect. Not only do we see that, we kind of get this feeling that there's so much more to be told in this story. It's just, um, 12 episodes feels pretty quick, but with how fast and how quickly they brought us back the next season, 12 episodes doesn't seem that bad. It probably gives them a good amount of break after making all 12, and then they're ramping up for the next one if it actually does as well as I'm guessing season 1 did, or maybe season 1 did well enough to warrant the end of them like just finishing the whole entire manga itself. So, or whatever source material they're mainly focusing upon. So I'm really happy with what we got in this week's episode. I could really see this being something that people are like still sleeping on to this day, because Golden Kamuy doesn't really have that much of like an instant label you can just put on it. Like it's not just a show that does one thing or does two things. There's a lot of little gems in there in the sense of um, just overall story progression, the way some characters are built up, and sometimes even the way that they falter. So to know that they're putting that much effort into everything, it just makes me happy to know that I never thought about dropping this show, and there was a reason why, and it was because it's just a great show in general. I actually really do recommend a lot of people to watch this. It is also getting dubbed as we speak, so even though there is this break now of season two, there's still a dub going on right now. So that's kind of my way of seeing another show growing and becoming even better and better. Is when a dub is practically, like four to like 3 episodes behind the sub, and not only is it that far behind, you go and watch it, and there's not that huge of a difference of what they're saying compared to like what their characters are trying to show and stuff like that. So really, really fun episode of Golden Kamuy. Straight down from the start. The only part I guess people are probably gonna hound on and probably gonna make fun of is the immortal having the talk with the huntress's dad. I mean, I get it. It was kind of goofy to just see them both standing there, but it was a heated moment, and to think that he's been like spending all of his time with her, and the father is kind of the reason why the daughter is even uh, involved in any of this crap because there's this thing. If I tell you fully, I will spoil you. I'm hoping you guys have watched up to this point, but I know some of you haven't, so I'm not gonna spoil you. I'm gonna make you watch this series. It's over right now. 12 episodes. You can binge watch them straight through like a Netflix series. So don't give me none of that. Just go watch it. Go see these twists and turns that we made. Even the smaller characters in the group kind of made really big, bold choices throughout the episode. And one of those bold choices were getting stabbed and keeping the knife so whenever everybody finds you, they at least have somewhat of an idea of who was behind it. Not only that, the immortal kind of just like kept flipping sides at this point. He's pretty much just taking the side of the people that will do the most for him or that have at least the same type of goals as him and as of now, as of on the point as what he's on. Like if he was doing something 5 minutes ago, if he changed it up, if you're following him when he changes up, he's with you 100%. So that man is ready to fight, and a lot of people are about to absolutely go in. So I can't wait to see what you guys think of Golden Kamuy. And I say I can't wait because I want to hear all your opinions as quickly as possible. Because the more people that watch this show, and the more people that give it, attention and stuff like that, the more chances we're going to see more and more of shows like it and get shows coming out much quicker so they can please the fans and get all the content out of the way as not even saying as quickly as possible, but saying more like they get the content out to the fans so then they can start picking up other things much quicker to then build even more upon more fan bases. So um, regardless if they do it quickly, as long as it's done right, or as long as they are doing justice to the actual show, I have no problem with them taking time off on Golden Kamuy and stepping into something new. So I hope you guys enjoyed the content. I see there is some new subscribers here. Thank you so much for subscribing, you guys. It means the world to me. If you guys like and share this video, it just helps the algorithm of YouTube pick up the video and push it out to everybody and put it on their notifications. So even if you just subscribe or if you just viewed, that is enough for me. Thank you so much for the support. I will talk to you anime people in the next one, and to all the new people and my anime people, I hope you have a good day, evening, night, whatever the case is. Merry Christmas Eve, and I hope you have a great Christmas if you do celebrate that. I don't mean to push it on you. If you don't fight me. Alright, my anime people, have a good one, and peace. Got him.